fly we're going to do today is a fly called a March brown emerger. The real purpose of this fly so much isn't the fly itself, it's to show you how to dub. Dubbing is something that causes people a lot of issues. So let's take a look at the finished fly and see what we're kind of hoping to get. I think that'll give you a pretty good profile there, and I can turn it around different ways. So it's a fuzzy body to give it life with a nice soft hackle, so it gives it a lot of action in the water. It's not only good during this March brown mayfly hatch, which would be here in western Montana, it'd be, I usually key it right around the middle of April. But they're in the Bitterroot, they're in the Blackfoot River, they're in the Clark Fork River, and they may be in a lot of other streams too. But primarily this will work as an attractor almost anywhere, anytime. It's a very buggy looking fly. But again, my purpose here is to demonstrate the difference between dubbing a wet and a dry fly, which we'll do in a later video. Let's take a look at the materials that we're going to do with this fly today. Okay, fish dog, come. This is an interesting, this dubbing right here, and by no means am I telling you that this is kind of the color that we need, kind of a grayish tan. That's a good color for this particular nymph. But this particular blend that I have right here is Badger, Gray Rabbit, and my lab Fisher, who I'm trying to get to come, and he's not cooperating. Fish dog. Then, this is a beaded fly. These are beads. These are gold beads that fit a size 12. Okay. Then for that soft hackle, this is Hungarian partridge. And the rib is going to be, notice one thing about not picking up that, how difficult that is to try to pick up a piece of wire like that. So you're just going to use your forefinger, slide it to the edge, and then it's very easy to pick up. See how easy that was? That's a lot easier. Let's take a look at the instruments that we're going to use today. So we've got hackle pliers, whip finisher. This is 6/0 tan wax thread, but let me show you a technique. You won't need wax, isn't a big deal. Scissors, obviously, the trusted brush, and head cement. All right, let's get started and see how this goes. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to take that hook. We're going to get this bead, and again, be careful on these beads. One end is beveled out big, and the other end is small. So we're going to go through the small end. Just thread that around there, right up against the eye. So we're going to mount that in the hook. Notice that I don't leave a whole bunch of that point exposed, because I don't want to, I probably won't cut my thread, but if you haven't tied a lot, it's a common thing. So we're going to start that thread up at the front of the hook, just like that. Bring a nice space back. Okay, one thing I'm going to do here, when I get to this bend right here, I'm changing the angle that I'm rubbed, and I bring for this particular fly, I bring that around a little bit onto the bend. So you'll note right here where, see where that bend, I'm past the straight part of the hook. Okay, we're going to get rid of that tag. Okay, now I'm going to bring my thread back forward here. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to take this silver wire. I'm going to set that right on top of the hook, right on top of the shank, just like that. I'll do that nice and slow so you can see it well. Okay. I'm going to bring that back right around that bend, right there, just like that. Good. Okay. Now we're going to take the stubbing. Notice how I just use a little saliva, and I just wrap it on there. Just my fingers are just moist. That way it goes on there real nice. You'll never need dubbing wax again. You've got an endless supply of saliva. Just like that. You can slide that up. It just slides real easy along the hook, along the thread. Just like that. Okay, let's see what we do. Now, don't get too wide here, meaning that the bigger loops that you did are much more hard to control. So that's about as far as I want to go right there. So again, look, I'm changing that hook angle, or that wind angle, I'm sorry. And I'm bringing that around there just like that. Tapering that body out a little bit. Okay, and you can already see that starting to look fuzzy. Just like that. A little too much, we'll just get rid of it. There it goes, just like that. Now, I'm going to take this brush, and you can buy these brushes anywhere. You can buy a dubbing brush at a fly shop, or you can buy a pack of these at like a hardware store, and they're super cheap, and they're better than dubbing brushes to me. So I'm going to get it a little bit fuzzy, just like that. And again, that's going to give it lots of life in the water. Okay, now I'm just going to take that thread, and I'm going to just do, that's going to show segmentation, so I'm just going to wrap that wire around there, just like that. Perfect. Couple wraps right there. Now, I'm going to come in with my scissors. Now, note with my scissors that I don't go in with the point of the scissor. Notice how I come to the back of my scissor, just like that, to make that cut. That way, I don't dull my scissors, and notice that I didn't close that all the way, so I cut some of those guard hairs off. Then I'm just going to use my finger just to push that wire over just a little bit away from me. And I'm going to give it a couple more nice brushes, just like that. Ah, see, that's nice. Look at that. Look at that. That's going to give it life. Now I'm going to take this Hungarian partridge, and I'm going to get rid of them bottoms, right? Notice on that Hungarian partridge how I start. This side is further up the vein of the feather than the other side. That's why when it rolls around there, it gives it a nice profile to start right there. So that's about the size of the tag I want right there. Okay, I'm going to set that right against the bead. I'm just going to tie that in there pretty tight. There you go, just like that. Now here's the hardest part of the whole fly. Because it's a little bit smaller feather, the veins are very weak in this particular type of a feather. So I'm going to go at the middle of it so I catch the vein. I'm going to move that out just a little bit with my fingers. See how I do that? So I spray that around there. Okay. Then I'm just going to go around there. One wrap. Bring that under there. Now the thread right over the top. I'm just setting that over the top. All right. Good. Now I'm just going to get rid. Again, I'm using my tips here. I just want to go in there and get rid of that. Perfect. Okay. Now we're just going to go in there with the whip finisher. Again, we're going to catch it on the bottom, catch it in there. There's the triangle. There we go. Let's actually get it so it's right. There we go. Kind of a tough go over here, guys. There we go. Just like that. I'm going to go in there and trim that off just like that. Fluff those out with my fingers. And this will work. There's a fly that a lot of people don't use today called a hare's ear. This is a very good representation of a hare's ear. It doesn't have the tail, but do you think a fish really cares about that? Do you think he's going to say, I'm not going to eat that? It doesn't have a tail? I don't think so. And there you go. And there's the March Brown Emerger. So this is a good one. Hope you learned something from the dubbing. I'd like you to view this. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up, and we'd ask you to subscribe and to continue watching for more helpful hints. Excuse me. Thank you. Give them hell.